Good morning, good morning, good morning, community. How are you? Jenenne Macklin here, your transformational speaker, wealth guide, and catalyst. And I thought I'd hop on here. It's close to the usual time that I'm on here. Good morning, East Coast. Good afternoon to you. Good morning, West Coast. And good morning to you. We're back to a cloudy day today. If I'd known any better, I think it was going to bring some rain our way. Well, I started off on Tuesday asking you because I heard in meditation to ask you, what did you promise yourself? What did you promise yourself at the beginning of the year? We had, I had to go back home and get just a little bit more clothing. It's chilly out here. You know, at the end of 2019, some of you probably sat down, thought about your resolutions, your goals, what you wanted to see showing up in your life for 2020. Oh, there go my people. They got on gloves. I better go get some gloves. What did you promise yourself? What were those goals that you set for yourself? I'm not concerned about whether you achieved them. I'm more wanting you to focus on that you set them, that they were important to you, that it mattered to you. So I asked you about that, sheesh, as it related to your health on Tuesday. Then I asked you about that as related to money. What were your goals on Wednesday? And then yesterday I asked you about as related to your spirituality or your religious practices. And so today, the last piece of the quadrants of our life, 4 quadrants of our life that bring us happiness and fulfillment. So today we're looking at relationships. And while it's so easy to first look out there at all the relationships you may have with everyone else and all the other people, the most important relationship I want you to begin to think about today as you go into the weekend is your relationship with yourself. Now, men, you have your role, and for you it's been pretty clear, I think, what you're supposed to be doing. But for women, so much of our sense of value, our sense of worth and value, what gives us meaning, is based on other people. We've been bred that way, that, you take care of this, you take care of that, you take care of the family, you take care of relatives. And most moms know that if something happens to them, it will probably be the daughter who will step in to take care, because men get really squeamish when it comes to their moms being sick or terminally ill or anything like that. So I know I was raised in a family that was older. So I took care of my father when he was sick with cancer. With my mom, I helped her take care of him. I took him to the doctor's office. I was there with him. I tried everything I could to really keep him alive because I just couldn't believe my dad was leaving. I couldn't believe that the doctor said, give him 4 months, and he took 4 months. I helped my mom with my uncle, her brother. I helped my mom with my grandmother, her mother, making her transition. So I was taught early on to take care of what you do, how you care for someone, how you nurture someone. And it gave me a sense of value, and it gave me a sense of purpose and meaning, because I was doing something good for the family and being supportive and helpful. However, we often take that into the next step where we do it with our kids, then we do it with the choir, then we do it with the minister at the church, then you do it with the PTA meeting, then you do it with the girls group. So now we went from maybe just taking care of the family. All of this now becomes our sense of value, our sense of necessity, our sense of worth. But, sorry, we had worth before we started doing everything. But no one told us that. We had worth before we started doing everything. So many of us as women live our lives doing. And I suspect this time, well, it's kind of a catch-22. On the one hand, I want to say you haven't had as much time to do for others before we were in this period of transformation and evolution. But now you do have more to do, because if you have kids, they're now home, but you're doing for them. So who are you when you're not doing for others? That's what I want you to sit with. Who are you when you're not doing for others, taking care of others, shopping for others, encouraging others on the phone, supporting others? Who are you, ladies, when you're not doing all that? Who are you when you're standing still, naked in front of a mirror, looking at yourself? Or every morning when you're in the mirror, putting on makeup and looking at yourself? Who are you? And how are you there for yourself? Can you hear my crows? They're so loud. I don't know what they're talking about. Who are you for yourself. I remember the first time I sat down with Lisa Nichols at one of her workshops, and it had to easily be at this point, like 2011, like 9 years ago. And she's doing this demonstration, and it made so much sense to me. And she said, you're supposed to give from your overflow. I guess I should have prepared it to show it to you, but I kind of do these kind of on the spur of the moment. I'll do it at another point, though. And she said, you give from your overflow. And I thought, okay, what does that mean? And so she demonstrated it. And when she demonstrated giving from your overflow, it was such a small amount that we were supposed to be giving compared to giving from our full cup, which is what so many of us are doing. We're giving from our cup. So that in the end, our cup is empty, our overflow is empty, and you know what? We're on empty too. So where in your life are you giving from your empty cup? And see, my cup wasn't empty. My cup was bare, dry, just I had absorbed, used every bit of everything I had, doing and doing and giving and giving. You know, I was giving at work because I worked with children then. I loved working with children. And so I had no problems coming in early, staying late. Then I'd give at home with my son. Then I'd give for my spiritual community. Then I had a private practice. So I was giving and doing. And I allowed that to define my sense of value. Then at one point I was sick. And I had to stay in the bed for 5 or 6 weeks, recovering. And it was interesting to see, after I'd done all that for everyone else, who actually showed up for me when I was sick. And what I realized, that I hope you realize, is we teach people how to treat us. That's the bottom line. We teach people how to treat us. So because I had been the one giving and giving and doing and helping and loaning money, well, not even loaning, giving money here and doing this there and calling here and helping with that, when I needed that given back to me, I didn't get it. It didn't come. Hi, Ernessa. How are you? How's it back there for you? You're Chicago, right? A friend of mine said it just snowed there yesterday. I didn't get that back to me. It wasn't like it was an exchange. See, I always thought if I took care of others, they would take care of me. Any of you ever think that? Hashtag replay, say yes. I thought, okay, the more I would do for them, someone would do it for me too. Now, I'm not sure who I thought the someone was. But, you know, I grew up in the church. I grew up with, doing for others, do it for others as you'd have them do unto you. But, you can do unto others as you'd have them do unto you. But that doesn't mean they're going to do unto you. That was just a guideline. So where in your life do you know you're giving and giving, extending yourself more and more and more, that you may need to look at that and reevaluate what that's based on? What is that really based on? The giving and the doing and the going and the rushing. But if you got sick, like I was sick for that period of time, there wasn't anybody that came to help me. There wasn't anyone to help take care of me. I got my fibroids removed. That's what it was. So I had to be down for a period. And then I got myself up and thought I'd mop the floor. So I kind of re-injured the process. So I had to stay down longer. No one came running to say, hey, Jenenne, can we help you? Now, granted, that was maybe some 20 years ago. But I learned a lot then. And then when I saw Lisa 10 years later, and she said, you give from your overflow. You do not give from your cup. And I've been working really hard to live from that premise ever since. Giving from my cup and not my overflow. Because it's so, that feeling you get when you do something for someone, we get the feeling, and if something feels good in us, and you can get addicted to wanting to feel that feeling over and over. But in order to feel that feeling like that, you've got to give and give. And oftentimes we give until we're depleted. And then we feel guilty ourselves for our giving. It's not like somebody comes to you and say, oh, you didn't give to me this week like you did last week. There's no giving monitor or anything like that. We just, that feeling, we like what that feels like. But at the same time, we are so disappointed when people don't come and support us when we need it. People don't see what we need and see who we are and just readily help us like we can readily help them. Well, therein lies where we get to grow. And we get to grow in realizing the first relationship, the first and foremost relationship, is the relationship we have with ourselves. And then from there, for me, the next relationship is the relationship I have with God. I want to start with me and then with God. Hello, my dear. I am not going to even try to say that name. Yes, I am, huh? Jaya Sunda. So that's the first relationship. For me, it's with me and then it's with God. When I wake up in the morning, most mornings, the universe wakes me up. I don't have any alarm clocks or anything in my house. and then I'm in the meditation. So that's the first one. And then from there, I can pour into whoever I choose to pour into, but not to the point that I'm depleted. I used to give and give and give until I was depleted. And because I was giving so much and going so much and moving so fast, I didn't realize I was depleted until I was basically sick and tired and had to pause. But that doesn't work for us. And as we move into a new normal, as we look at how we're going to how this evolutionary process is going to unfold, we have to look at how it's going to unfold for each and every one of us individually. I feel like I'm competing with the crows. Goodness gracious. How is that going to impact us going forward? What is that going to look like for us going forward? What will be the new normal? What will be the new level that you set for how well you take care of you? Now, self-care came up, and I used to say self-care is our health care. And for me, that is 100 billion%. I mean, right now, when we look at this pandemic, they keep calling it a pandemic, but it's a health demic, it's because of us taking care of ourselves and our health. Good morning. Our health, self-care is our health care. We must allow ourselves to be first. We have to stop thinking we're being selfish, because we always heard that, right? When you think about yourself, you're just selfish. How many times did we hear that growing up? Anytime you wanted to do something for yourself, it was like it was so wrong. You're being selfish. You're not thinking about anyone else. That it became hard, and for some of you, it still may be hard to say no, to set a limit, to set a boundary for your own self, your own health, your own sanity, and yet we have to. We have to. You have to be able to sit with you and get connected and anchored and centered, and then go out there and help others or serve others or think about what you want to do for others. But if we're doing it from our empty cups, our bone dry cups, that's where we end up with diabetes. That's where we end up with heart disease. That's where we even end up with a broken heart. Oh my gosh, how many times have you given and given and given and given in a relationship and did not get back what you wanted? And then your heart's broken because you hung in there and hung in there and hung in there because of that thing we have in here about how you take care of others first before you take care of yourself. How many times have we allowed that to happen to ourselves and to our hearts? And we could be mad at them. We've been mad at them for a long time. But in truth, the only person we can really be upset with is ourselves. Because we actually believe that if we do something for them, they'll, one, do it for us, or two, that we're going to get some brownie points somewhere. So I want you to take this time, this moment today, when you hear this, to just pause and ask yourself, what do you think about yourself? What do you think about how you're treating yourself? What do you think about the thoughts that you are holding within your own mind about yourself? And if they don't align with uplifting you, if they don't align with affirming the magnificence that you are one-of-a-kind design, if they don't align with the dreams and the goals that you have for yourself, then don't worry about it. This now becomes the time for you to sit for a moment and get clear about that. I mean, one of the biggest things about this time on the planet is that, how often did we live our lives constantly in one moment thinking about the next moment, because our to-do list was so full. Our to-do list was just an endless list. But now we've had to slow down a little bit. Now we've had to really think and be conscious about the actions we take and what it is that we do and how come we're doing them. So maybe that might be it. When you get ready to do something for someone else, besides yourself or over yourself, we can begin to ask ourselves, it's cold. Why are we doing that? What are we doing this for? How come we're doing it? Now, a lot of times my girls are always telling me, well, my mama, and I understand, at least in our community, and in maybe other communities, mama got power. But at some point we have to step up to the fact that we're grown adults. You can put the A in between there yourself. We are grown adults. So why are we letting mama tell us what to do with our money and mama tell us what to do with our time? And everything we say is mama, mama, mama. That's because we don't know how to set a boundary. We haven't become fully grown adult women and recognize that she's a fully grown adult woman. And now that mother-daughter relationship gets to shift to be two women, and how do we support each other? So if that's your story, here's one thing. Go down and sit down with your mom one day and say, hey, Mom, tell me what it was like for you growing up. Ask her about her life. Tell me how you managed stress. Because your stress is probably different than ours. Tell me how you raised 4 kids and you worked 2 jobs. Ask her about herself. Ask her to share with you her lessons. Ask her to share with you her wisdom. And then that can shift the relationship from this one-up mother-daughter kind of situation to realizing, hey, Mom, I'm not that little girl anymore. I need your wisdom. I need your guidance. I need your strength. I need your lessons and your stories. So please stop telling me how to be the little girl, because now this girl is grown and has kids, and I need your wisdom. And that can shift the relationship you have with your mom. It is so great to see you this morning. I am so sorry. I am cold. I'm going to put on some more clothes, like a hat, some gloves, and a jacket. I hope this reaches you and that is beneficial for you to take a moment right now. When we look at relationships, the only one I really want to look at is the one you have with yourself, because the relationships we have with everyone else is based on that relationship with ourselves. And I think we've been shortchanging ourselves. We're learning, we go get our manicures, we get our pedicures, but our healing, our self-healing is greater than that. It's bigger than that. And it does impact our money. And the reason why I picked these 4 is because these are the 4 things that impact our money, impact our life, and will impact our happiness. First, your health, then your finances, then your religion or spirituality, and then lastly, your relationship with yourself. And what I'm going to do is invite you to join me for a 2-day boot camp that I'll be having. And yes, it will be affordable, but we'll visit some of these same areas, these 4 areas, but specifically focusing on where these fall as it relates to our money. So hopefully this is helpful. Have an incredible Friday. Have a great weekend. I may try and hop on here. I think we've got some rain coming one day, but take good care. But look at you. Look at those dreams you had. And if you're a person who journals, go look in your journal and see what you said to yourself, what you would do, what you wouldn't do, what you wanted for your life. Where are your goals? That vision board that you made for you, where is it? How often do you activate that vision board? How often do you hold that vision for you? Not for everybody in your family and all your kids and everything, because they have to live their own life. But many of us are really the foundation of our families and our relationships. And how good can we be for them if we're not even willing to be good for ourselves first and foremost? Take good care. Love you. Have a great holiday. I got to go in and get some more clothes. I'm freezing. Bye for now.